For the family and friends of the Idaho murder victims, Thursday cannot come soon enough. This nightmare continues for these families. That's the day their suspected killer of their loved ones is supposed to be in court for what's called a status hearing. So far, Bryan Kohberger has not entered a plea. We expect he'll plead not guilty. He could face the death penalty or life behind bars if convicted. And as time goes on, we're also hearing from more loved ones, victims, people who love these victims, people who knew them, were familiar with them, had a past. NewsNation spoke to one of Xana Kernodle's childhood friends, also her dad, and he also happened to be her gymnastics coach. And the two of them, right now, they're starting a fundraiser through their gymnastics academy in Florida that will raise money for Xana's scholarship endowment. They say even though they've seen distance and time, it still feels like they've lost someone close to them.
Xana was one of our students for about 6 years, and besides that, she was also one of my daughter's best friends, so she was always at our house. Her dad was single, and so she would come to our house until he'd pick her up after work, so it was almost like losing another daughter. So it's been a really difficult time period for sure.
It definitely was a shock. We were really close in middle school, not as much recently, I guess, just because I live in Florida, so we were pretty far apart, but I just always knew I could count on her even now.
I wanted to see Xana there as a young girl. It is heartbreaking, and really this is the starting line in the fight for justice for these families and for the friends of these 4 young people. Tracy Walder is with us this morning to talk more about the case, the evidence. She's a former CIA officer and FBI special agent. Thank you for being with us. So Thursday, I said status hearing for Bryan Kohberger. We intend to learn a lot more about the evidence in the days and weeks to come. One thing, Tracy, that stands out to me is this time lapse between when the surviving roommate in the house saw the killer walk through the hallway and then leave out of the sliding glass door, and then hours and hours passed before she ended up calling police. Is that significant? What do you make of that detail?
Well, thank you for having me, Marnie. I don't make much of that detail, to be completely honest with you. I think a lot of us don't know what we would do in a situation like that. And I highly doubt, even though she may have suspected that there was someone in the house that she didn't know, I don't think that her mind went to the fact that he just murdered 4 people that were in the home. My guess is she probably thought someone left the door open. Again, this was a house that people did come in and out of. Multiple people had that key code. The back slider was known to be unlocked sometimes. And so she may have just thought, oh gosh, this is perhaps another night where there's maybe now a robber in the house because he has a mask on. I'm going to go ahead and lock my door. Now, the fact that she didn't call 911, I can understand why that piece is perhaps puzzling to people. We don't know what we would do in a situation like that. We don't know if she had her phone in her room with her, could have been charging someplace else. I know I've done that before. We also don't know, she came home pretty late that night, 2 a.m., I believe, somewhere around then. She could have been under the influence. She could have just sort of gone right back to bed, or she could have just been in a complete state of shock about what she'd seen. I've seen people who have been the victims of crime who have locked themselves inside of rooms and not called for help for 24 hours. So I don't make too much of it other than she was probably in a state of confusion and shock.
Our thoughts with that young woman, what she's been through, having survived this and knowing now what happened that night is tragic. You called Bryan Kohberger not the brightest bulb based on the evidence that we have seen so far. Why?
Yes, I did. I think the reality is you don't typically drive your car to the scene of a crime. Also, the fact that his personal cell phone for, I think it said 12 times, had pinged in and around the location of the house, really just kind of leaves, I guess, this digital trail, if you will, to him. And then also he left the sheath cover, at the scene of the crime. And so I think for someone who is, I would say he's probably book smart. He's working on his PhD in criminology. However, I don't think that he fully understood sort of the basics. He really kind of lacked common sense. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.